Well, kursa iskonyuni je otoma program konlo ka smart farming ane otoma Eastnet Media kakro Charles jana kinan lo program kona ne otoma Eastnet Media ya lolo ikonna inere akroni kamtosi kuselo ikwami nara ikupokwa na itejo ponelo da potakurio ko bikaina tara agogon kwap anwe karwalo akorbere na sodit mamikoto temar bonebe apoti biroro sara apoti dumu tuidunje bi chia korio kapote dumu tichiebore konyi chia apoti biroro chut kopana bobo utastunga mo a second season ano anyunebe nyo bika kinetungene ni kwa teterepere I down. So you realize that kopokwa ne kuselo ikwamin mamu euta ajokune pole beitori angara kina korioko gesilo loikotorioni aire kina kroni kamnara kede nunyo kanwe beiti akurioko dokwa na aswam anwa upakini kede kuselo ikwamin lejai kede boda anyu be bia boy pedoroni aiti kokin ichie boro le pedorete amona mone kuselo ikwamin nesilo lija ronda ne kede eja kaita Joshua Opejo. Joshua Opejo senior agronomist swama ikede Yield Agro Center Soroti and mama ankure chanchana paka kodu berenga almokin gesebe. Joshua, thank you for coming, thank you for joining us. You can say hi to the viewer.
Like you've introduced, my name is Joshua Opejo and I work with Yield Agro Center as the agronomist.
Thank you so much. So kedangesi jengo kedeja kai Julius Echodu. Julius Echodu is senior agronomist. So my kede eriongetloka isekoa kede awan. So Julius, thank you for joining us.
Ebo yala manoi apupo kokali itete kere yala makakirore kesimun hido somaingo kede eriongetangun awan arebo sekoa agro lifeline consultants ojai lailo Soroti.
Well, so thank you so much. Let me start with Joshua straight away. Today we are looking at adaptation and also we are looking at mitigation. But then before we go there, let's first begin understanding Eponele Kusiata Rekopokwana Ikwamin from your point of view and professional observation.
Yeah. So you realize each and every time people talk about climate change and it is happening and it's real and people are really accepting that climate change is real. There are a lot of scenarios that are happening currently to show that climate change is real. When you look at this season, rains have been on and off. The pattern has not been normal. You realize these days, after some time the rain disappears. Those are all scenarios that show that climate change is happening.
Okay.
The way the weather pattern has been is not normal as it has been. We have been expecting that by now farmers would be into serious production.
Yes.
But you look at currently, some parts of the country, some parts of Teso region are not receiving rain. Acheboshe tepipamba bono jala kinibere
Kilimo town.
Bunjo Kilimo town and then you reach Pamba Emamedo.
Yeah, we have always seen that.
Bunjo dera ikedapu wane dedeng idolunjo town in Abakedo and people would wonder what is really happening. There are a lot of surge of diseases. When you look at the past season, Rana Crosset was just an epidemic. Actually, people were calling it that. You see, COVID of granates that has
it has.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's really, when you look at the previous seasons, we had a lot of armyworm and so on. So there are a lot of flourishing pests and diseases. There are a lot of variations in the weather pattern and many more other things that we are seeing. Coach to the GMA said, those are all things. Those are all scenarios that show that the weather has changed, the climate has changed. It's no longer like those days. Maybe taking people back because you need to understand what has brought climate change.
Yeah.
Before even begin talking about adaptation
and mitigation. Yes.
There are a lot of human activities that have really contributed to climate change. And referring you back to the 19th century where there was industrial revolution, ekolo iteji factor simipu iduduma ete kuju. Akuru nitejo elosi kuju. Angon parani it accumulates so kujani na.
Yeah.
And kapro kuju, that is carbon. Ke carbon ngon kuju. Nyala kinoske di kwa pin leja si kuju ngina. Isoma une si different gases. Lu eroko kujangi na. People do a lot of bush burning, social human activity. Kutu ya ndelenya mare samai kere. And that carbon goes up. Ke carbon ngon kuju wani nyobon be elosenya lakini ke be ikwamini chiani na, and then it forms gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, other gases like methane or porotrai kujungi na. There are a lot of human activities that people do, like deforestation. So you find that ikito play a very big role in the ecosystem, in the environment. And because Ajepasikito, they have brought a very big impact.
Okay.
And it has affected the climate. So what usually happens is that ikasikwa miningunu kujo itejo balajo ijaijo pibiro akini paranaipo ilo majo pibiro lanya idumunjo etoro koko etuli angone jai. That is what happens with the atmosphere when
so there is more like a cloud cover
etoro koko laja onukuju no kwandon de chawa kolongandi radiation support kwa puni anwabongo kuju ejetuli angone mikesa kwa kinai a bongo rikuja chama ki radiations lumama kota itosomo to makwa pande.
Okay.
And because of that emwana do kwa na kwa padepa this tumuja che parasha kwa kipinoi melting akako olele unikulo lele pole. And you realize that you go there che parasha pona berakwa kwa sema metenyo akip. So all the things that you have done I have to actually sing in the July lojo a little bit done. And now farmers just have to accept what they have to actually sing the lojo.
Okay. Let me bring it to Julius here. Now, we are looking at adaptation and mitigation. So let's begin by following what Joshua said, that, you know, we need now to adapt. And as we adapt, we need to have certain practices that can help in as far as this topic is concerned. So then, first pick up from Joshua and tell us how your professional understanding towards this environmental climate change is concerned, and then we come into adaptation.
Thank you very much. Once more, back to the topic is the beginning of this scenario that we are going on right now. It started with the growing population. We have multiplied in numbers, and that number of the population of the people living has posed a lot of threats to the environment, to the surrounding, and their actions like burning, as Mr. Opejo has said. So therefore, it has caused what we call a long-time shift. A long-time shift of rains, maybe floods, or prolonged drought in the community. Now, when you look at these happenings, as Mr. Opejo has said, on the side of what? Crops. But also, there is also a side effect of this climate change to human beings.
Okay.
Beginning with the most vulnerable people to climate change is the pregnant women. Secondly, the young children below the age of 10 years. The third one is the elderly, people who cannot move. You can see Soroti. People have left villages, they have gone to urban settings, especially the youth. People go to landing sites, they leave the pregnant women. So you find that these radiations, this heat, or the floods, it affects those people, the vulnerable people. You look at the pregnant mothers, look at the blind people, the lame people, because for them, once the climate change has happened, you find that they are the most affected.
Affected persons, yes.
Yes. Secondly, when you look at the animals' well-being, you find most of the animals have emaciated. Not only that, because people have now went in to use heavy chemicals, control pests, which is brought by climate change.
Yes.
You find that these chemicals, even the cows have eaten, because there is poor or improper use of these chemicals,
yes.
disposing, all those things, overdosing, all that. So when the animal is grazing on that pasture,
yes,
which is sprayed, it has already gone into the human, I mean the life of the animal. At the end of the day, the animals affected. We are, even the people who have gone to town, they're also going to be affected, and they're affected. That's why you find there is cancer, there is diabetes, because you eat the meat, which a physician has already told you that you are supposed to eat this meat after 14 days. But so long as the meat is there, people run for
Someone
meat.
slaughters his animal and
Look at the milk. Akile. Ebaka akile no isabtiniare mamechiraite. Echirun. So that is how the climate change, the climate change has caused us to the state where we are now. Which means now the human beings are affected, the crops are affected, the livestock is also affected. That's why you find, even if you get 1 million, you have to treat crops, you have to treat animals, you have to treat yourself.
And the million just goes like that.
Yeah.
You
so
don't realize
now
anything,
back to understand the two terms, mitigation
and adaptation.
And adaptation.
So
mitigation, mitigation, things that we can do to stop is mitigation. Then adaptation. Since now there is drought, what are those practices we can do to move with that drought? Because you cannot say
it's more
it is
like
now
it
dry.
has happened, like the way we had COVID.
Yes,
it
has happened.
How shall we be able to
survive with it
in the wave of?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's where I will take it to Joshua now. Joshua, well, it has happened. And we are going to look at the mitigation practices later. But let's look at how shall we be able to move in this wave of climate change as we are looking for alternatives of making sure that we restore the environment to change or to better what you were talking about before.
Yeah, like earlier on said,
yes,
it has happened and it's happening.
Yeah, and it's there.
As farmers, we ought to adapt, get used to, and survive amongst the
yes,
but also become resilient, become strong in the system and whatever is happening, and continue surviving.
Yeah,
and that clearly tells us at farmers when they recognize the policy of Boro. The olden days, people used to do agriculture as tradition. Akonyini ngoto puruchu ajeni ngombe betal sakuriki ne muobo like onengai anyam. Ani arikibore joka those days. But now things they have changed. It means every system that you're doing, every farming system that you're doing has to change. Lakini ponelo isomati itu akori okonyoni iboro. Now so the key to adaptation. There are basic things that farmers ought to do different that they were not maybe doing, or they were so much reluctantly doing. And what I keep telling farmers when they ikolo ajiboro le palontoni and a parashan mamji rapa for you to get mamje better kwakinai apalon. You have to take an effort to do it. You don't have to become lazy, you don't have to become reluctant, but you have to take an effort to do it. Number one is soil health. That is the basic foundation towards adaptation. Soil is the genesis and foundation for all the production. Most of our soils have exhausted.
Yes.
The soils have depleted, that the depletion in high, the nutrients are no longer there. And because they have depleted, look at the current rosette that affected farmers also on Latuborelo. The soils have declined. It means secondly, Emaido became very vulnerable. We are off.
Yes.
And you see the harvest was very poor. When you look at the soils like are depleted, and I'll give you an example for Kumi, Ngora, and those are effects of climate change.
Yes.
When you bakirati tungakai Ongora, sometimes not because of ikidioka lupok, but nara iloma kija sakunu ne maido ikalani yare ibala joboni be akerebere ngo serere kolo ekera titunga serere opotungo onyotu bo serere kwa nakiri kabere mai da emalu pokoni kotai ni tamito akira ta kwa na boka berme loka berme de jasa ibota bim abim do kwa mangaje mo be aibe esola kendo those are all effects lu climate change. So ijo kapa kono you have to take a deliberate effort, and unfortunately equal when I was growing up our forefathers were taking an effort to improve on soil baka ibola palo so ditineni wangana ribereja china akine awore tengina bugo kinai Misiri 3 months down the road de bongunedo wala palo unyete, and then it is raining aboshia manyo angono ko people plant, but we have overutilized our soils and we have run away from that practice. Mami tung so rarely do you get a ulibaro no itungiri to sipuka ngare bole ai worship, so farmers have to revive that and when bitojo karete nyoni alupok. And then secondly we have fertilizers now luapoto ajine ngete matronga bon medo baidu manja waret abidu mainjo achina akokora dumunja akokore. We have to take an effort, and that also becomes another adaptation measure. Bonbe ipisija akokore ore ipisija kinde ore ipisija itukore. In case edengari akolong I no more emaido, you have an alternative to sell. But also ipisija akokore, you have manure that you're taking to the garden and you're improving on your soil health. Ejaijo ikoreji bore utaje gwekine bolia yatakine nyamtere ekeruni emudunga koni tere ekeruni ekone maida tipe ailanya kolong within the shortest time possible. Ijo inaki konyamata inyamata libusa kinto stoma lupok tere konyamati konai ikeunos. I've talked about 2 things towards adaptation. I talked of soil health, and then we come to diversifying. And when you diversify, you're increasing on your income access, but also you're improving on soil health because it is circular. You bring the manure, take to the soil. After taking to the soil, you're reaping from the chicken that you've reared. But of course, people are now concentrating on akorubon.
Okay.
The other thing is use of improved seed, and we cannot run away from that. Improved seed plays a very critical role. Farmers have seen this season, people who planted improved seed harvested something, they did not lose out completely. We have farmers who planted Naronat 5, planted Serenat 14, planted Serenat 11. They harvested. If I tell you that in a season where farmers lost out everything, there are people who got 20 bags of groundnuts.
Even
there are people who go 20
crying.
When people are crying, tomorrow they are tired, they're exhausted. A city bala, as you're aging, you know, plants have no big difference ke the etonga. The only difference when betonga nani ijasa okota nera stem metenyo okota, and for us we have that sense in nero nyongini borekere. But ejiche boro le putosi. As you age, adio de kane bunikere panai kwa kinai. Ai kamari nyesi wanje polo me kota emate sukali anu acho ikina. Ne bala koto kwa nenge jambe